All right, this is an exciting new module for OMG NHB 2014 Project X because OMG is a city on a hill, and so often when our members have success, they're not just grateful, but they're incredibly generous. Now, earlier today I met with Dave Keys, and Dave just joined us 10 days ago, and he's had extraordinary success in that time. A big part of it is because of law of implication. He got law of implication a little bit before he joined us for Project X, and he's used it as the cornerstone, as a foundation to really fire things up. Now, what David is doing is something, what Dave Keys is doing is something that you can add to your repertoire. It's quite neat in your day job killer moves, and there's a couple ways that you can do it. So what Dave is doing, the way he's had so much success, he went from really struggling to 5 figures per month in 10 days. I know that sounds amazing, but there's a reason why he was able to do it. He's working with highly targeted leads, and I'll explain really quickly here, and then we'll get right to the interview with Dave. You'll be able to watch that, and it's gonna be extraordinary. So if I search for, let's see, I think it's real estate SEO, then this right here is Dave's site, and earlier today it was #1. Looks like it's #2 right now, but anyways, it's very highly ranked. This is his LinkedIn profile, and he quite typically ranks #1 for this. What he's doing is he's ranking for, we've talked about my city SEO. What Dave is ranking is for my expertise SEO. So it could be lawyer SEO, doctor SEO, plastic surgeon SEO, could be lawn care SEO, roofer SEO, locksmith SEO, what have you. And this is not going to be a huge number of search leads, but what it is it's going to be extremely highly targeted leads. It's not that difficult to rank for. Okay, so it's got that really great thing where high quality leads and low barrier to entry, not hard to rank for. And we have a wonderful interview with Dave on this. Now, when you're looking at this interview, the big silver bullet to look for is really the silver bullet inside of the silver bullet is the law of implication shortcut. Look how the law of implication massively helped Dave really springboard into success. And remember, law of implications in your members area. It's when you go to your main membership area, it's over to the right and at the bottom of your search bar, right around where my video is on this video. So you go to your main Project X members area, then it's all the way over to the right. Search in the search bar, in the navigation bar. Go to the bottom, and it'll say law of implication. Click on those videos. If you're not going after this stuff, if you're not really beginning with law of implication, then it's a lot like saying, "Hey, I'm too busy sawing this tree with my dull saw to sharpen the saw." Right? I'm too busy breaking my back working with this dull saw to just take a few minutes to sharpen my saw, and then of course chopping down the tree is much easier. Okay, so law of implication shortcut, look for that. Now, in terms of getting started quickly, I want to note, however easy it is to rank for your expertise SEO, it is going to be incredibly easy to rank for your city, your expertise SEO, and you can actually rank for a bunch of different expertises. So, for example, I foresee us for Nashville SEO adding on, Nashville lawyer SEO, Nashville accountant SEO, Nashville roofer SEO, just a silo, just a bolt-on silo. You can use a vSilo plugin, bang it out. Can be very little content. You can even potentially rank for a bunch of those keywords on one page. It could be home improvement SEO, and then on home improvement SEO you could get painters and carpenters and deck makers and so forth. Okay, now another thing to look for, and this is really critical inside of this interview, Dave really gets into, he has a very good understanding. I wouldn't compete with him if I were you. He has a really, really strong understanding of the pain that national realtors, I mean, you could compete with him in your city, but in terms of going national, I wouldn't compete with him nationally. He really has a very, very strong understanding, and you can learn a lot from his understanding when it comes to the pain points that realtors are feeling with SEO. Now, not all realtors, but realtors that are searching for SEO advice, okay, the pain that they're feeling. And I want you to look for that. The point is at the point where, at the moment when someone is searching for plastic surgeon SEO, they are in a lot of pain marketing-wise, probably. What it means is, number one, they have probably tried a number of SEO firms and been burned. And number two, they're really feeling on the outside looking in when it comes to the Google puzzle. They badly want those leads, but they feel like they're getting denied it. So part of the pain is the SEO ad agencies, and the other part of the pain is there's probably somebody who's keeping them on the outside looking in. In the case of realtors, it's like Zillow, Realtor.com. Those people are sucking up a lot of the traffic, and they're not able to get to it. So you want to be able to get over top of that. For plastic surgeons, it might be like health grades. Okay, for doctors, it might be like health grades. Okay, so you want to be able to say, hey, there are these sites that are kind of blotting out the sun for a home improvement guy. You can say Yelp. We're going to flip things for you and make it so Yelp is on your side, because we're going to use Jimmy Kelly's domination method to jump up ahead, leapfrog ahead. You go into your domination videos and see how they can make a Yelp page. You can rank that Yelp page just like Dave has done with his LinkedIn page, leapfrog everybody else. So look for those examples. Dave generously provides his website. Let me just pull something up for you really quick here. On Facebook, Dave actually gave me another of his sites. He's very, very generous. I'll just pull this up for you right now very quickly. Copy and paste it over for you. Let's see, Dave Keys. And here we go. realestateseo.net. So here's another example site that he generously provided for us that you can look off for pointers. You would format this to your city, okay? Or for your expertise. So you can look at realestateseo.net as an example site, and that was just very generous of them. And generally, I'm asking somebody who's in Project X, I don't think it's smart to compete with him in terms of going nationally for real estate SEO. It's very competitive. He has the resources to outcompete you, but also why? Like, this guy helped us out, hooked us up. Don't go competing head to head with him. There's tons of places you can go. I've named a number of them, but any expertise field, plumber SEO, could be carpentry SEO, any of those things. Not going to provide a huge number of leads, but Dave talks about how to process those leads, how to take advantage of them, how to get them on your list, and ultimately they can lead to big dollars, because these are hot customers. These are people that are willing to pay big dollars if you can get them the traffic. Okay, I want to take you inside these videos now. Look for these 4 points, take notes, and take advantage. All right, see you on inside, and thanks, Dave Keys. Really appreciate it. All right, Dave. Actually, I've got you right here, Dave. I'll pull you up so you can see yourself on the screen. Dave, I just got this the Pirate Hat earnings report from you yesterday, and this is awesome. So this is really, you and I were talking before, but this is really cool for me, because not only is it yet another 5-figure per month earnings report, but it's also like a great, actually really an incredible testimony on the law of implication. So let's run this down just really quickly. Basically, now, how long ago did you, give me a little bit of background. I'm not exactly aware of the date that you joined Project X.
About 10 days ago.
Are you kidding? Is it that recent?
It's that recent. I mean, I'm brand new to it. You might remember I sent you an email with a question.
Yeah.
Are you about to close? So I got in on like the last day, and I said, I really need to find out a couple of answers and eliminate this doubt.
Yeah.
And really, I was reducing the distance of my leap of faith.
Yeah.
I was like, if you'd have told me, I have no idea. I still probably would have jumped in. Because
yeah. What was your question about? I don't remember the question, because that day was crazy.
This was really important for me, because I said, in my business, I do SEO for real estate. It's really competitive. It's really a grind. It's not, launch jacking or something where I can slip into and you're out there fighting on the front in real estate, because of all the aggregators and big,
Yeah, Zillow is huge. Like Zillow is such a player in the real estate market that you can have a site ranked #1 and not even really get that many phone calls for it unless you're really on your A game. I mean, you can also get phone calls from a site that's number one, but you have to be A game with it.
You've got to be doing a lot of things to punch through all that competition. And
Yeah.
number one is just the price of entry. You know, top of page one, price of entry, and then from there you've got to do more stuff. I've got clients that do it. You know, my best client did $57 million in home sales.
It's crazy.
In 2012, first half of 2013, but he's got a really rock and roll strategy for doing that.
Yeah.
So it's not just placement.
So yeah, I wanted to run this down because I have some thoughts on real estate, like real estate based SEO. So so first off, since you're so brand new to things, have you? And first of all, well, actually, let me just say, first of all, actually, congratulations. I mean, it's incredible. You broke right through. You went straight to the law of implication stuff, which is awesome.
That is, and I meant it when I said that that's the core of my approach, because that gave me the framework to say I know what I'm doing works.
Yeah.
I'm able to ascertain that I'm on a success track with a strategy, and whatever that strategy is, you know, that I'm eliminating the things that are not successful, so I can say with confidence to my clients. And like I said, it comes through. They can sense it whether it's there or not. And that confidence was the icebreaker, the tiebreaker.
Can you give me a scenario, like what the situation was? Not a scenario like in law of implication, but like what was the scenario? What was the real life happening where you kind of just turned this around right away?
Well, here's an example. Just a day before I signed up for Project X.
Yeah.
One of my clients, I had been doing a little bit of stuff with him, and he said, I really want to dominate this market. That was Albuquerque.
Yeah. New
And
Mexico. Yeah.
I didn't feel like I had that kind of a strategy for him, and like I said in what I wrote, I really hold back from engaging a strategy until I know I can win. So
Yeah.
it's win and hack, and so win had to come first.
Mm.
When I finished law of implication and my thinking on this was clarified, and I knew you guys were killing it in Project X, and I said I'm going to pick up what I need to from there, and sign up with the program. So I called him up that night, and I spoke with him for about an hour, and I said, look, we're going to. I knew I could do it. I said, we're going to dominate for you. If you can afford to do this, I can make it happen. Absolutely, we are going to rank you.
I like the if you can afford this. I like the if you can afford this approach, because so much. David talks about this a lot in law of implication, but so much of how we treat one another as human beings is shaped by the frame. Is shaped by this peripheral context, not so much the explicit context that's face to face, but little details on the edges, surrounding the edges of things, and the implication of saying, if you can afford this, we can dominate. It implies a relationship, in the near future, that it's distinct. What it means to you and to that individual.
I learned from Dan Kennedy. I don't know if you know who that guy is.
Yeah, no, I know Dan. I saw Dan the first time back in 2003 in Cleveland, and he was the first person. What's that?
Peter Lowe Success Seminars.
No, it was something called the System. It was something called the System, and it was that was my first introduction to copywriting. I'd never heard of copywriting before. And it really blew my mind. There's a lot of things I disagree with Dan on, but it was a total different world.
One of the things he really stressed that I took to heart early on was that you want to bifurcate your audience between those who are in affinity with you, those who should be attracted to you, and those you really want to push away.
Yeah.
And even offend, whatever it takes to divide that audience and narrow down. There's a lot relative to the law of implication of it, because you're narrowing down the scope to what is going to succeed.
Yeah.
And so I've had to learn that, there's a real life experience in actually putting that to practice to where now I'm pretty good at filtering out clients who are going to be a problem, who can't pay, and attracting the ones who can afford it.
Yeah, I'm curious for you to have a look at. I don't know how much of the day job killer stuff you've been through because it's been such a short period of time, and I know you've been doing a lot on law of implication, and I'm sure you've been looking at Greg's supremacy videos on private blog networks. There's
Absolutely.
yeah, so in your law or in your Project X members area, there's in the monetization area, there's a whole area on day job killer. One of the things that David came up with, because we've got Nashville SEO, we get phone calls on it every day. NashvilleSEO.org because it ranks number 1, number 2, and number 3
Oh,
for.
that's really delivering the leads, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
The phone rings off the hook. I'd say I've gotten 4 calls in the last 3 days, but they're all like qualified calls. And yeah, I mean, it's really something. But anyways, so what we wanted to do was find a way to, not more qualified people up front, but like, kind of turn the tables and a little bit get out of the done-for-you model.
Yeah.
This was David's idea. And so we wanted to shift out of the done-for-you model and into more of a model of like a little bit more with consulting, a little bit more with information, a little bit more of us being a team with our client. So, go ahead.
I've been looking at just kind of mulling that over my mind, and there is a boatload of money there. Absolutely. And the model here is real estate agents in particular. I've been working particularly toward that field for now since 2008. And these guys have been burned over and over and over by crap SEO.
Yeah.
And, I mean, other businesses have too, but real estate is really targeted in particular. And they have tried to do it themselves. They're looking for ways to deal with their problems with the aggregators and big brands.
Yeah.
If they find something that works, they will jump on it. They will pay. I have a friend down in Florida who is teaching really micro-niching, and I don't think it's that valuable. She's teaching it. She pulled in, I think, like 30 clients, $2,000 a head to take her course. Which
Wow.
She's a nice person, and I don't mean to down her in any way, but her course isn't that good, and half of what she's got in there she learns from me.
Yeah.
And I don't fault her. I mean, go out and make some money if you can, but I would not deliver that course until I would feel like I've got to deliver something better.
I think you're pointing to something remarkable though, because within the day job killer, like it is the biggest market. It's like the big affiliate market that's out there by far. Like it's sort of like if you pick something else like relationship advice, if the relationship advice niche was like 1,000 times the size that it is, then that's probably about how big, or maybe 100,000 times the size it is. I mean, it's so big because everyone who has a going concern business needs it, or almost everybody. And the funny thing is that even inside of that, like the real estate niche might be as big as the relationship advice niche. That's my point, is that just something like the real estate niche, or I'm getting a ton of blue collar stuff in Nashville right now. Roofers, carpet cleaners, landscapers, just a ton, because the area's growing. It's just booming, and housing's up. So that's the that's the thing. I imagine I could probably expand even into more stuff. I'm more like wait for people to come to me, but I think that realizing that before I forget, there's in your day job killer, in your domination area. So me and Jimmy and Greg are putting together a series on the actual blanketing of page 1, and one of the things I wanted to bring up was like if you have a realtor that has a Zillow page, for example, I'm pretty sure this is theoretical, so normally I don't teach theory, but it's pretty obvious to me that you can rank a Zillow page.
I think that's absolutely true.
And you should be able to go after their, well, like if I open up, let me go, open up Google and let's have a look at that Albuquerque, say real estate agent, or Albuquerque real estate agent. Is that a good one?
Just Albuquerque homes for sale is probably the biggest money keyword in terms of value from lead to conversion.
Okay.
The buyer leads.
So Albuquerque, what is it? Home sales?
Albuquerque homes for sale.
Homes for sale. I didn't realize that. It's a good education for me. Okay, so we've got Trulia right here.
Trulia, Realtor Zillow are going to be first.
So truly, but can you? But will truly realtors have individual pages for the realtor?
No.
Okay.
They'll have a lineup. They'll have a leaderboard of realtors on the right side when you start searching homes, and so you know the realtor
so do
pays to be on that board.
But do realtors have their own individual page, or do they not?
Yeah, they can have a blog. They can have a blog, and
You might be able to rank the realtor's blog.
Yeah, I think absolutely, because the domain authority of those is huge. Realtor, Trulia, Zillow, all of them have huge domain authority.
Zillow, Realtor.com, you're nailing all that. Obviously, that'll also, doing what we're doing with Jimmy's stuff, you know, you'll get into the local as well. And then you've got Century 21's next, Remax, abqhomes.com, which looks like a bit of a exact match domain site. And then you got Coldwell Banker, Real Estate in Albuquerque. That's definitely Real Estate in ABQ is definitely kind of an exact match domain-ish kind of site.
That's amazing how Google recognizes ABQ as Albuquerque.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Then you've got homes.yahoo.com, which is going to be the same thing as local.yahoo.com. So for sure you can rank there.
Yeah.
If they have homes.yahoo.com, look and see if you can get the page there for that. And this is something.
If I tell him to sign up for something and get a blog going, you know, he'll do it, or I'll have my assistant get.
Because there's a lot of this. Like then we've got AlbuquerqueHomes.net. That's another EMD, and it just to me, Then AlbuquerqueHomes.com. So you got all the EMDs are there. Homes.com could be one that goes on the page. One of the things I'm looking for is Yelp, and I'm not seeing Yelp. I'm not seeing YouTube yet.
Yeah, I don't know if Yelp really gets into the real estate agent space like that.
Mm-hmm.
They might. YouTube is something I'm working on right now with another client, and seeing how that ranks. You know, I've had a little experience and some success in ranking YouTube videos, but I'm working for you guys' material as fast as I can.
Yeah. No, you're obviously a savant at it. So I'm not trying to rush you. I just more trying to catch you up to.
I'm totally excited by that blanketing strategy. I'm telling my clients about it. Like, look, there's things we can do to rank YouTube. So I ask them, what is Yelp like in your area? Do you see it there? Do people use it?
Yeah.
And, Pinterest is starting to be big. It's a page rate 9 now, and starting to really punch through.
Oh yeah, Pinterest
so
can
that's
go.
Always an interesting one. Anything I can find that's like a high domain authority social media site, I'm like, let's try it.
Yeah, I'm really seeing what you're saying though about the sites, because there's a lot of people have set up EMDs here and are trying to rank with them, and I think you're going to trounce them. Now, one of the things that you can do with your client is set up an expired domain with some age and with some links.
I talked about that, but he wanted a brand, and he bought Myers. He's John Myers, so he got Myers and Myers Real Estate. So we got a brand new domain. It's like, well, it's better than what he had for that penalty situation. So
yeah.
we've got to just move away from that. We're not going to be able to work with that.
Got it. This ABQ is a pretty big deal. So you're probably going to chart that. I imagine that people are actually typing that in at this point because it's so much here. I'm just seeing it so many times. Yeah. So targeting that keyword, I think is going to be smart. Yeah, it's pretty light on social. You'll always be able to punch through on YouTube. YouTube is on page, and I'm just clicking through and looking as we're talking. YouTube is on page 9, which is good. It's good that it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's showing up so you can push it, right?
Yeah. I think you should do a Weebly also. Like Weebly. This is funny. There's an iTunes listing. That's kind of odd. Never seen that.
I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get you anywhere, but it's just kind of funny. Okay, so yeah, I think that the obvious properties for me, I might take a fly. I might give Yelp a shot anyways, because it's they're going to have testimonials. It's something that you can get for them. Definitely those ones that we saw that are on the page on page 1. No doubt you should go after those. There's just no question at all. I'm going a little bit deeper into things.
I'm glad you mentioned that though, because I always, in my blogs and stuff like that, I present those as the enemy. These are the people that are stealing your leads from you and selling them back to you. Trulia, Zillow, Realtor, all the agents talk about, the big 3. But there are blog pages in Trulia, there's blog pages on Zillow.
Yeah.
I don't know about Realtor, but the amazing thing is like this never occurred to me. Go and make a blog page rank.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my competitors has a Zillow blog page that does okay for real estate SEO. And I never thought about it. I just think,
I think you definitely need to rank for real estate SEO. I think that would be very, very smart in your area.
I rank all over the country for it with my LinkedIn profile.
Awesome. Yeah, well, and remember, LinkedIn's yet another one that you might be able to rank with. I'm checking ABQ. This homes.yahoo.com is coming up again and again. So really,
I don't know if there's a profile.
I don't know either. Do you want to have a look? Let's have a look. Let's have a look together. So homes.yahoo.com. Let's find out if you can set up a profile page here. So for sale, for rent, foreclosures, new homes. Let's see, get the Yahoo app. Must see homes finance. All right, so I'm logged into Yahoo. So can I set up a page here? I'm just kind of curious about this. I may not get the answer right now, like while we're talking, but I am curious. All right, so it's definitely displaying the homes. And then, let's see, must-see homes, home finance, get the Yahoo app, for rent, foreclosures, new homes. I'm not seeing it by realtor, so that may or may not work.
I'm logging in as one of my clients right now to see what's offered to him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to dig into this a little bit. I'll put my guy on it. He does all my research and stuff like that for me. So I'll tell him, just find out about Yahoo. If we can get a blog or a page in there for real estate.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that there's something about that. The multiple listings. Now, another thing is we are seeing that the EMDs are working. So another thing that you can do for this guy is he can have his home site, the whatever the name of it was, I forgot. But you can do another
microblog and just make that thing push up.
But really consider doing it with an expired domain. I really wonder if expired domains wouldn't really trounce these EMDs, because these.
I bet they would. I've got a couple PR5s and 6s that are really quality. I have to be very careful what I post on there because they show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
In organic search. So I bet expired domain would knock it out.
Well, because that's really what you're looking at. Like what Greg. That way you're borrowing from what Greg did with KLKS and is doing with KLKS in the e-cigarette field. That's so competitive right now in the affiliate market. And again, he's just trouncing these shallow, because a lot of what happened with say the payday loans update was knocking out shallow sites. I mean, that's where we really started seeing domain authority have that exagerated push.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah, so these pages have to be thin.
Like SE Nuke or Web 2.0s, it's just like if it's shallow, it's just going to end up exposing you to more risk.
Yeah. Now, Facebook, I will tell you this. Facebook, to me, I've never seen Facebook not be able to rank. This may be the first time, but Facebook, for me, for Greg, for Jimmy, ranks every time. So take it with a grain of salt, but I mean that to me, could be a good direction to go. Also, where you're doing with the realtor, like I think that you could for yourself make a site like an EMD site, not an EMD, an expired domain site that goes for realtor, like SEO, like real estate SEO, and go after the major cities. Real estate SEO Austin, real estate SEO Dallas, real estate SEO Nashville. I think you can do that kind of across perspectives because you have that kind of focus. So you can go after like the top 25 cities and see how many of those you can start rounding up, because you really might get leads on it. And if nothing else, when you're talking to somebody, you can say, well, look, I ranked number 1 for Austin, real estate agent. I am the number 1 guy according to the real Google search engines for Austin real estate SEO.
Yeah, and that would be just a knockout punch, and you can walk away with it. There's not a lot of search for it. My competitors aren't trying to do that, with the exception of maybe one who's going for state level. I don't think any of them understand private blog networks. Not one.
No, of course they don't. Yeah, and really, once you get both the private blog networks are so powerful, and you're somebody where you're probably operating on the scale at this point where you can really seriously look into the GSA stuff as well. So that's going to be in your domination area. There's
I think that term's going around, but honestly, I don't know what GSA is.
Great. So GSA is a link getter. It's basically Jimmy uses a combination of three tools. One is GSA, which is a one-time $99 link getting machine. But what you do is you feed it you feed it content from Content Machine, which is it's just going to get you like unique content. And then you use something that called G-Scrape. G is in Gary, and then or G is in Google, scrape. And what G-Scrape is going to do is get you lots and lots and lots of high PR properties that you can post to. Content Machine feeds it in to GSA, and GSA will go out and get you those links. And Jimmy will go out and get 1 million links this way.
Okay, so you're curating some stuff, and then you're using a Content Machine. Well, it's in G-Scrape is doing what? It's picking up.
It's picking up unique properties to post to.
Okay.
Okay, and you're also going to use G-Scrape as an IP service. They're going to give you unique IPs to post from. And Jimmy's got a methodology. It's all laid out inside of your domination area. Okay.
I'll absolutely check that out. Let's see what he's doing.
But
is he pointing to money sites with this?
Never.
He's pointing to his blog network sites.
No, not that either.
Yeah.
Only to social.
This is for social. Where
it's only for stuff where you have that domain authority, especially 90 and above. If you're 85, 80, you're gonna you'll calibrate based on, especially with your anchor text and so forth. You'll calibrate based on what your domain authority is. The higher the domain authority, the safer you are. So the big ones like Facebook is just Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. By the way, Twitter ranks like crazy. People don't go for it because they may or may not be able. But you're so niched, you might be able to have a Twitter. You might be able to get away with Twitter. By the way, Twitter's not a bad. Actually, I got to tell you, for a realtor, I could see Twitter working because they could just post the new homes on Twitter. They could tweet them.
Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of them do that. They just kind of wish it would do something, but it doesn't rank.
Right, but if you fire links to it, Twitter ranks like nuts. It's got really, really high domain authority. It's got to be. I'm sure it's 95 plus. It's probably 100 domain.
Well, page rank 10. That's got to come from something.
Yeah. So it's got that high domain authority. Now, can I? So we've gone over some SEO stuff. One thing I want to say is, as you get started with your PBN, don't spend like a drunk sailor. Go in there, really understand. Especially Greg's got that terrific buying a PBN on the cheap kind of thing. It's called.
I watched that and had my assistant sit down with me and look at that. Like, okay, we can alter our strategy and frankly, I've been building my PBN for ever since I discovered Becker. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to do this. And so I started building a PBN, and I made all the mistakes, bought some crap domains and stuff like that. But now I have quite a setup here because I've got about 60 IP addresses on 3 or 4 different SEO hosting packages. My latest, I bought BizBuilder's biggest package, and I'm now populating it.
Yeah, good.
So, because, like I said, real estate's tough. It takes a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think that GSA is going to give you a different factor, especially for ranking those social properties. And again, this is to scale.
Put that in gear because that's going to make my clients while they wait, because it takes time to rank just a bread.
And you get that push fast. If you look at, I'll tell you this. So search Nashville SEO right now, and you like.
Yeah, you guys just rank that like crazy.
Well, and I want to underscore, this isn't something that you or everybody needs to do. This is only because we're like, At this point, it's me and Greg and Jimmy and David Mills working together. I mean, it's the big guns, right? Like,
yeah, and I see what you got there. I mean, you got the website, the video, Facebook. Who's that in 2 top this time?
Yeah, that's a guy who's going to be on page 2 very soon.
Okay.
So
yeah, that would get it squeezed, didn't he? And then
yeah,
dialinweb.com is.
So that's not us, but our Yelp page is there. Should be maybe number 8. Is that where you're seeing it?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, now go to page. Now go to page 2.
Okay. Snapshot.
That's not us, but we're.
SlideShare.
Yep, that's us. So SlideShare is us.
There's Foursquare.
That's us.
Okay. There's Vimeo.
That's us.
Okay, got it.
And then a little bit down the page is my LinkedIn.
Yeah, there's LinkedIn. That's awesome, man.
And then if you go to page 4, there's also my Weebly. Should be at the top of page 4. And
yep, there it is.
And then another daily motion video. Do you see that one? Or
on page 4?
I think so. Might check. If not, check page. Do you see it?
Got number 9 on page 4.
Okay, great. So those are all sweeping up, and that's all very new stuff. Greg and Jimmy only very, very recently started ranking that stuff. And again, this is not something that you need to do. Like, even for the realtor, you could you could do it for real estate SEO Miami and blanket page 1. I don't think you necessarily need to. Being number 1 or number 1 and number 2, or even being number 3 can be great. Like, people really respect that from the outside looking in. Of course, in a sense, more is better. In a sense, being number 1 and number 2 and number 3 and so forth. But we more do it like A, because we're scaling up Nashville SEO pretty big, and B, like, we do it for Project Xers to kind of just break down the barriers of belief of what can be done. So just keep that example in mind, and we are accomplishing that with a combination of PBNs and GSA.
That's awesome. I didn't know what to do with those tools, and I knew you guys were doing some stuff socially that, like, I saw the video where Greg said, you know what, anytime it's social, be aggressive. Like,
yeah.
All right.
Well, and you're so fresh and new to this, and you've also spent a lot of time on law of implication, which is terrific. Obviously, it's paying off in spades for you, but that's kind of why I want to ramp it up for you, like, in terms of the SEO side of things. Now, once you want to go through monetization stuff, there's the if you click in on the monetization, there's the My City SEO section. So it's monetization day job killer. So first the monetization section, then the day job killer section. Then inside of that is the My City SEO, and that's the strategy that David Mills came up with. Where what we're doing is we're and you have 2 recorded phone calls in 3 parts. They're two spread out over 3 videos. Where I get a $500 upfront purchase from the client, basically for me to give them an analysis of what we can do for them, and then I throw on a video. I throw on a YouTube video and we rank it. So we're getting $500 up front. That's where we're shifting over away from the total done-for-you model for our clients and into a bit of a combination. Does that make sense?
Yeah, total done-for-you really consumes a lot of time and resources.
Well, and having that frame shift over where where part of what you're getting paid for is advice, it's just nice. It's good for the client. It's good for you. Or it can be part of what you're getting paid for is SEO. Part of what you're getting paid for is web design. Part of what you those kind of multiple models. Part of what you're getting paid for is SEO. Part of what you're getting paid for is video and creating videos and ranking those videos, right? So that all kind of works together as a team. Now, what I want to do, we've gone through a lot of stuff, and I believe that this is going to fast forward you a bit. I'd like to pick your mind a little bit about what you've done with client getting and your insights, because always when we meet somebody new and somebody comes in, I say it again and again, OMG is a city on a hill. We get so much understanding from our clients who've had either previous success or new success in terms of just getting that real world data, like what it's like out in the trenches. We're in the trenches too, but you get so much more if you have 100 people that are out there getting clients, or 1,000 people out there. Well, it's not 1,000, but you kind of understand. So what are some things like like, first of all, what are some ways that you're getting clients in the first place?
Well,
like in terms of the approach.
They're very limited. It'll be easy to explain, and I may be shifting that and starting doing some marketing now that my confidence level is high. But the sole way that I was getting clients all this time is content marketing and Dan Kennedy style sales letter copy. So if they find their way to my site, I rank for real estate SEO with my LinkedIn profile, and I rank several sites for real estate SEO expert. So what happens is very low volume search. Few people go and search maybe 30 a month for real estate SEO expert. But that's what they do when they start to feel desperate. Maybe they burn to an SEO guy or two, or they try to do their own. They got hit by penguin, or they just can't. They're floundering, and they go and they're desperate and they search for real estate SEO or especially real estate SEO expert for I dominate. And then they end up on my blog, and they start reading what I say, and I hit them right where the emotional trigger is.
And what is that?
The emotional trigger is the fact that Zillow, Realtor, and Trulia are just robbing their business.
Okay.
They dominate.
And they feel that way, you think?
Absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of them do, because they call me and they hate those guys. Because here's the reality: Zillow, Realtor, and Trulia do not sell real estate.
Right.
They aggregate the listing data that the agents go out, they take the pictures, they write the descriptions, they list the houses, they do all that work of getting it into the MLS, and then these sites have partnerships with the MLSs.
Right.
And then they list all the homes all over the country, and then they sell the leads to real estate agents through various vehicles. They'll sell leads back to the agents in their own market.
Okay. So
and so they hate that because it's a little bit a month or a lot a month, but they've got to pay dues or pay these guys to get leads. So when they come to my site, the top of my site is solutionsbyday.com. It says real estate SEO mission, help local real estate businesses acquire and keep visibility in Google search. Take online search market share back from the big bucks syndications, and return it to the local agents who should rightfully own it. Mm-hmm. That's the lead-in statement. It's like, this is your territory, somebody else has it, I help you get a foothold back in your territory and get that online search. 90% of buyers start their search for real estate online, so they end up with syndicates. But eventually they look for somebody local, or they see somebody local and they realize there's a difference. And that's where the agent that's on top is going to be able to pick up some business online.
I've got something for you here, and I think this could help. When I moved, I'm a first time, I just for whatever reason, I've moved so much all over the country. Lived in all over Virginia and San Diego, La Jolla, Hollywood, a couple places in Florida, Miami, Metro West, near Orlando, all over the dang place. And so when we moved to Nashville, I bought a house, and me and David Mills both bought our house from the same woman. And she was just, in our area in Franklin, she's just the super heavyweight when it comes to Zillow reviews. And
yeah, that's huge.
So are you working with your clients on getting their reviews and getting their Zillow reviews up and stuff like that? Because I think that hitting that two-pronged strategy, like kind of not so much siphoning, but like kind of working with kind of working both angles.
Yeah, no, honestly, I have not. I've avoided Zillow, and maybe that's been a mistake because
I think you can embrace it, and that's the whole idea. Like, if you're going to rank their Zillow profile, that's one thing, but also then really go after them getting those reviews, and you can also target the people with a little bit better reviews as possible clients as well.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind, because and I thought she was excellent. I thought she did an amazing job with this house. Me and David both bought a house through her, and I think that's something else that you can do is have that be a part of your strategy. Is going back after the fact people that have bought houses from them and get them to post the reviews on Zillow. On these other sites will have I'm sure reviews as well. If Yelp winds up working, then you can get reviews on Yelp as well.
That's a really good idea, and that is just simply something that, whether a flaw in my thinking, I hadn't evaluated that yet, but that really makes sense.
All right, great, great. Well, and again, that's part of the reason why I wanted to talk to you. So then, and the proof is in the pudding. I mean, both me and David Mills just bought a house from her just right away, and or through her. So that's something that worked on us. Now, I didn't mean to cut you off from what you're saying. So with your sales letter, you're addressing those pain points. One of the things that you can do is, and you'll see this in law of implication. Actually, I think you actually mentioned this in your post. Now that I think about it, or maybe you did, or maybe Fletch did recently. There's been so much buzz on law of implication recently, but really targeting the long-term relationship, thinking of the sales relationship as a continuity and not as a threshold. So if you think of it as a continuity that's going to go over time, then you can future pace, even in your initial communications with people, that they're going to be with you down the road. It's like kind of like a marriage relationship that matriculates along.
Yeah, and I've really approached my new clients when I onboard people. That's part of the process, and I say, look, this is a long-term thing, and I especially communicate that to them because, frankly, to rank their website, it's going to take several months.
Yeah.
It's a long stretch for them to be paying out a couple $1,000s a month or $1,500 a month and wait, 2 to 3 months for their site to rank. So you kind of prepare them for that long-term relationship kind of mentality right from the get-go. It's like, I'll be here, we'll rank you, and it'll work out, but, you can't. You can't come in here and expect to leave in a month and just rank. It's a whole marketing.
Yeah, and if they're looking to do that kind of push button millions mentality, you probably don't want them as a client, anyways.
Oh, absolutely. That's just going to lose.
Now let me ask you this: when it comes to sorry, I a little bit lost my train of thought. I'll get it back in just a moment. There's something that you said that kind of triggered something for me, so it got me on a different tangent. So let's see. So we've got Zillow. Yeah, and like my mind was kind of on fire because I'm really impressed with this idea of micro SEO fields. If you're going to be in, because somebody who's doing my city SEO, for example, can also. Well, so first of all, for you, remember that for your city, you can just be number one for my city SEO.
Yeah, that would open a lot of doors,
Because you don't have to just be in real estate.
Yeah, I would love to get into some niches where, I've got a phone call with a doctor who is a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
They were referred to me, they need a website redesign. They probably have no idea I'm going to hit them with SEO and domination strategies.
Yeah, and I think that can really, really fire them up. So keep that in mind because it goes both ways. Because here's what I'm thinking. I'll tell you what was dancing in my mind is taking Nashville SEO and saying, okay, well, let's rank for, roofer SEO. I know that we may only get one lead from it, right?
Yeah,
or zero, but it's also easy. It's just non-competitive. I mean, at that point, the site is already so strong from an SEO standpoint that just adding a few articles, maybe adding a silo where it's by market. So maybe Doctor SEO Nashville, Lawyer SEO Nashville, something along those lines. This is all just kind of stream of conscious for me. But this is one of the reasons. This is one of the ways that OMG has become so powerful is by this cross pollination. With our top clients, guys like you that are making now 5 figures a month, where it does that make sense? The monetization really fits in then, and we learn more. Good.
Yeah, I've already reset my goal here. My push right now is to get myself into the Obama tax bracket. And I'm like, I got to get there now.
Oh goodness, that's funny. It's not that fun, by the way. But just pay my taxes. It's a lot of money.
I figured that would give me about a 30% improvement for double the expansion of the tax issue.
Yeah, that's
You know what? I just lined up a tax guy to help me deal with that. He's been working with my son-in-law who splits up a lot of things for corporations and stuff, and that's done very well. He's got a $300,000 income in real estate.
Yeah.
And he split that up really well, and it's really working out good. So his tax guy is going to become my tax guy.
Got it. Okay.
So I can eat some of that.
Yeah. I mean, I just wind up just paying a lot. This is what it does. Okay. So let's. What I'd like to do is just take just spend a little bit of time reflecting on the timeline since you joined us and what's happened since then. So it's just 10 days ago, which is a shock to me.
Project X, but Law of Implication started back on, I guess, before Christmas. I bought the course. So
all right. So that was the progression. So all right. So give me the progression. So it's before Christmas. You get Law of Implication because you're on my list from Becker.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then you get Law of Implication, and that's when you went to Maui.
Yeah.
Okay. And so
Maui, I got sick. I consumed Law of Implication while I was there.
Yep.
Every day, it's like I need to spend some time taking another sub-course in Law of Implication and just get this integrated into my thinking. That was core. To me, that really was the linchpin. That was the cornerstone of everything I'm doing in Project X is a natural progression, and I put that in my comment on David Mill's website, lawofimplication.com.
Yeah, let me go
Law of
to that.
Implication enabled me to take even what I've learned from Becker and refine it and clarify it. Project X was simply a catalyst. It was like pouring in nitro into the gasoline tank.
I like that. That's really cool.
I had the right fuel. I had the right strategy. I'm like, okay, next step to speed this up because I knew I was pulling it. I was like, I can't explain how yet. I don't understand it well enough to say this is what did it. But as I consumed the material, my thinking clarified, and my ability to make correct choices in the next thing I did for my clients, my private blog network as it was, and then of course Project X was another choice as a result of Law of Implication type thinking.
And
Does that make sense?
It does, and I can really see what you're saying. This is my favorite quote here. I can attest that this has already been worth 100 times the $99 fee in very practical terms in my business.
That's not exaggeration. That is absolutely true.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I've told a number of individuals that I would trade like my entire portfolio. I'd trade if I really had to choose between access to the content in Law of Implication and all of my assets, my home, my bank account, my precious metals, even my GTR.
Well, why? Because that one thing, creativity.
Yeah.
And that, that's something I learned from Dan Kennedy too, is that wealth is not limited.
Yeah.
That's a different philosophy. When people who think wealth is limited end up in socialist societies.
Yeah. No, it's a static mindset. I agree with you there. So then, once you got in Project X, that's like you said, it was like pouring nitro, and you went from basically where you felt like your business was faltering, and you're now up to what was the progression that got you over the 5-figure per month mark?
New clients are just, people are kind of poking around my door all the time. And I've been pretty laid back about, a new client, I don't know, they want a proposal and I'm putting them off and stuff like that because I knew I couldn't deliver. And I just cannot take somebody on and not deliver. I can't do it. I've got to give them what they're looking for. I can't offer them. And when I knew I could deliver, I pitched and I pitched hard. I'm like, this is going to cost you. You're serious, I'm serious. It takes a lot of resources, and it'll cost you. But that whole thing is, if you're willing, if you can afford it, if you're in game for this, I'm the one to make you rank. We'll go in here together, and I tell them, I always use a military analogy, or not always, but often, and I'll say, this is a land war. We're taking territory away from your competitors who have it now. We're going to knock them off and give that territory to you. So we strategize like a military campaign. And it's serious and it takes resources, but the wins are big.
Man, I love hearing that. I think that is tremendous stuff. And then, that to me is killer. Now the search engine domination stuff is a big part of it. Like that blanketing page one, like the water damage St. George, and feeling like you have the stuff to rank that same way. That's a big part of the confidence.
I'm really excited, but I got to tell you, I really appreciate those components with the content machine, GScrape, and GSA, because I will knock that out. I will get on there, pick those assets up, and start churning with them. And
that's part of what's helping you close the deals is that confidence, like seeing that page one domination.
Absolutely, absolutely. Seeing, well, I tell you one thing that was big. I mean, Becker was cool, but he ranked Bleach episodes that had low competition. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool, but I want to see something more. And then you guys were making stuff like Gold IRA. I'm like, no, that's a fist fight right there, and they're winning it. And that really got my interest. When I heard that you were ranking sites, making a lot of money with them, and I thought there's a translation here to what I'm doing, and
That's
I'm
really
going to
cool.
find out.
What examples have you shown your sites, your clients out of our stuff? Have you shown them like Water Dam St. George?
I talk about it. I talk about Gold IRA. Actually, I only talk to some of my clients about you. I tell them, I'm learning from these guys, and it's to demonstrate to them, hey, look, what I'm picking up here is a strategy. I ask them to invest in it. So my clients are paying for my blog network.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And
I love that.
I tell them, this is what I'm learning. These guys are, and often I say these guys are ranking for stuff like Gold IRA. They've got a website that makes $1 million a year. They have created properties on the web where they are right now making $30 million a year through all of their enterprises. I think I got that figure from maybe you on a Webby or something, but so that's the number I've been handing out. It's probably close. And
yeah, it's probably more overall, and we're going on 40 for our whole careers, but it's still a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, and especially my clients. Even my big clients are like, if they make $1 million in a year, that's really good. If they actually have income of $1 million. So when they hear that, they're like, really? Wow.
That's great. That's great. Well, no, I like the stuff that shatters down the belief barriers and that really lets you break through the board. I really appreciate this time with you, Dave. And what I'll do is once we wrap this up, I'll produce this and I'll send this over, this video over to you in case you feel like reviewing it.
I absolutely will review it, and I really appreciate your time because you have now spent 53 minutes with me. I know it's really valuable.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, and I mentioned this before, when the time comes, when I get more confident in LOI and Project X strategies, and when I got a little more proof in the pudding here, I am happy to help you guys coach people. I've heard you express that there has been a line of people who have come in and then gone out without contributing, and I really enjoy that. I enjoy helping. I've been on the Facebook forum and try to help.
Well, yeah, and the contributions there really, really matter. Well, let me just stop this recording because my startup disk is almost full, and then I can just keep talking to you here. All right, so I just remembered something I wanted to ask you about the your LinkedIn strategy, and then you just mentioned Google Plus when we were off camera. Like, how are you working all of this?
Yeah, the connectivity, the real world connectivity is important to Google, important to LinkedIn too, because it seems to affect your ranking, and so I just started throwing links at my LinkedIn site kind of casually some time back.
Yeah.
And then about a month ago, because I had a site that was penalized by Penguin that was ranking really high for real estate SEO, and I said, well, I do want to have something up there. What's good if I really rank high? I didn't need it for the clients, but I wanted the ranking. So it was like floating up a balloon, just throwing a few links at LinkedIn and just sailed up.
Yeah.
And it ranks #1 for real estate SEO expert, #2 for real estate SEO, and it frustrates my competitors, and it was easy.
Yeah, I love it.
But there's a lot of people that have endorsed me on LinkedIn over several years.
Right. So yeah, I'm curious about the. I see it right here, LinkedIn/Dave Keys. You're #1, and so what are you doing with your LinkedIn? So you're really getting like a lot of recommendations. You solicit those?
No, people just do it. People that I've worked with and worked for and helped out over the last several years. They go in there and endorse me. And I think LinkedIn really encourages you to take action and endorse people and things like that.
Yeah.
So they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And so if you're in there and if you have any competency at all, you're going to pick up the endorsement.
Now you have 3,100 people in your Google Plus following circle. How did you generate that?
Well, it's the niche. The appeal is there. Real estate agents are really looking for a way to overcome the aggregators and to get visibility back that they used to have in Google search, and it's really tough for them.
But then how are you capturing that? Like, are you on your websites and on your LinkedIn page saying join my Google Plus circle, or how is it happening?
It's just that my profile shows that I'm a real estate SEO expert.
And that's it? They're just naturally joining?
They're finding me. I mean, I post it in Google Plus, and I talk about SEO issues and Google issues and that kind of thing. And so I contribute and I interact pretty regularly there. And the followers come. You know, I've hit some pretty good posts where they got passed around, that kind of thing. So that's real, you know, connectivity and use of a social network to be social, and that counts for something. And then my niche is just attracted to that particular group of people. So that flows naturally. Most real estate agents don't have that kind of crowd, but there are a few who do. So I've just kind of watched how people interact. You know, there's a thing involved application that talks about respect, and you know, and David Mill's definition.
That was really profound for me, by the way.
Something like, you know, you do not consider your time and priorities as more important than the other person. You know, that they're important. They're important too, just as much as you are.
Yeah.
And so that really is a foundational thing of respect. And so I show that in my interactions on the social networks, and it really pays off. It doesn't pay off instantly. It pays off over time as people get to know who you are.
Yeah. In law of implication, he talks about that. Understanding personal property, respecting it, respecting other people's goals as equally as important as yours. You know, not if they're like, you know, burning down buildings or something like that, but anything where they're within their own personal property rights. You know, you may not want your son to go after some certain job, but it's just immaterial, you know, or something like that. Like you just want to just fully have respect. It's just such a powerful thing. So then, what are some of the things that you're doing on your LinkedIn profile to make it like work and be good?
Yeah, all I did was give it a good title. Honestly, I don't spend a lot of time there. I don't reach out to people through there that much. I use Google Plus for that, but I do respond to people. You know, I endorse them when I can. Mm-hmm. But it's not a major point of activity for me. You know, I went in and made sure my profile was complete, that it said what I was about, and people have gone in there and endorsed me because they agree with what I said about myself.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I really appreciate your additional time on this. I just wanted to kind of get that down, and I think it's really cool what you're doing with this. How many followers are you picking up? You know, let's say in a month from this, LinkedIn being ranked #1.
You know, I don't know. I don't have a way of tracking that yet. It's not like I can put a tracking code in LinkedIn.
Sure.
The traffic to my website, you know, they find their way to my website or one of my blogs. I've got a few, but most of them end up on solutionsbydave.com. And that one, you know, it's a smattering. It's a few hits a day. It's, like I said, most people consider my traffic abysmally low,
but who cares? Because it's such valuable traffic. Yeah.
I have such a high conversion rate. When they get there, it's because they wanted to find me. I mean, they don't know it's me, but they were looking for something that was really driving them at that point. So by the time they hit my site, they're ready to talk to me, and so they end up calling me or sending me and filling in my form, which is, you know, right there with a red arrow, like this an email address, and we'll be in touch.
And this is building your list pretty good. This email opt-in form.
You know, my last two clients came to that.
Good.
Yeah, I just, you know, they send me a message through the form. I get in touch, picked up somebody in Calgary, Canada, and then my latest client there in Tucson, Arizona.
That's great.
They both came through the website.
And so this works. I'm on solutionsbydave.com. This, you know, long story short, this site works.
Yeah, it's working. It's magic. You know, I'm almost afraid to change anything because it's converting really well. It's, you know, I mean, I've studied here and there about things that cause conversions and applied them. And I mean, you see my picture at the top. If you're looking at it, I'm looking right at you. Then I've got a picture there where I'm looking at you. Then I've got a video where I'm looking at you. And even in the footer, there's another one where you can see my face without sunglasses, and I'm looking at you again.
Yeah, I like that. I like all of it.
It's like I'm looking dead on at you, and like I am the authority here in this niche, and you have found me. If you're serious, let's get to work.
Terrific. This is great. All right, thanks so much, Dave. I really appreciate this.
All right.
All right,